I'm not trying to run nobody away. I'm not trying to change the way nobody. But no, I'm saying this for a reason. I'm not trying to turn nobody away. I'm not trying to run nobody away. I ain't trying to track nobody in. I'm just telling what little bit of information I know, and I don't know it all.
Right.
I do know how to say when somebody asks the right question, man. I don't know.
Let me show you this right quick, and then I'm gonna go on with the next question. I'm gonna let somebody ask you the next question. When I asked them about this right here, Deuteronomy 21:10, about the grape doctrine, about the rape doctrine, he said, no, it's not grape. All right. Well, we can clearly see it is. When you go, I said, oh, so when you going on to war, it's all right. You can go ahead into her. It's still rape. It's still grape. It's still that. It doesn't matter if you're in war or if you're not in war. You taking the woman. It says when you go forth to war against your enemy, and the Lord your God delivers them. See, God delivered the enemy to the Israelite. And the Lord your God, right here, let me see. And the Lord your God delivered them into your hands. So God is in on it. The God of the Israelites, he's in on capturing the people because he delivered them into the hands of the Israelites. And you take them captive. If you notice among the captives, a beautiful woman, God is like, yo, hold on, stop. You ain't got to kill her. See, this is me paraphrasing now. Because you see a beautiful woman amongst the captives, the people that you're killing, her mother and her father. Stop. Don't kill her. You ain't got to kill her. He said, and you take the captives. If you notice among the captives, a beautiful woman and are attracted to her, you may take her as your wife. You ain't asking her to be your wife, because what the Israelites believe in, if you go into her, then she's automatically your wife. So they make a big thing out of that, saying, no, she becomes a wife. No, nigga, she ain't become a wife, because you teach that once you go inside of her with your penis, she's automatically your wife. See the trickery, right?
But then, but hold on, that don't apply to what they call goy.
Go ahead.
In the goyim, that's not in the biblical narrative of the Israeli doctrine. It's in the Talmud and the Mishnah.
Okay. All right.
Right. And they say that if they have sex with the goy, that's not having sex.
Right. Okay.
Right.
But let me finish breaking this one down. Right.
Mm-hmm.
And so it says, you may take her into your hands, bring her into your home. See, now once you take her, it's called kidnapping. Once you take her, it's kidnap. So you could, bring her into your home and have her, make her, shave her head. So when it says have her, you think that woman want to cut her hair off? Hell no. That's her beauty. You think she want to trim her nails? Hell no. That's her beauty. Have her shave her head, trim her nails, and put aside the clothes she was wearing when she was captured. Take off all of those clothes that you was wearing. Get rid of the negative energy. That's what it's saying. After she have lived in your house and mourned her father and mother. Now listen, you kill her father and mother. Now the person that took her didn't have to kill him, but it's still in their gang. Let's say the Bloods or the Crips, and they kill her mother. You still in that group right there. And after 30 days, right, for a full month, then you may go in onto her. She will be your wife. See, once you go into her, now she's your wife. But here's the catch. Check it out. If you're not pleased with her, if you don't like the boxing, you're not pleased with her, it's not good enough for you.
After you use her up.
Yeah, after you use her up, let her go wherever she wishes. You must not sell her or treat her as a slave. Why? Since you have what? Dishonored her. Bingo, right there. You already dishonored her by taking her, by going into her. She could have been a virgin. By going in onto her. It's right there in your goddamn Bible, man. That is great. I don't give a damn what you say. You killed her damn mother. What woman is going to want to lay down with you when your gang have killed them? And then the excuse is, well, We were at war. We were in war. She was captive. Yes, she's a slave. She was a prisoner of war. Prisoners of war don't have no goddamn rights, but Apostle would try to make you think she had rights and she could say no. And when it goes, go back up to here, when it says you can take her, I wanted to ask Apostle, can she say, no, I don't want to go, Apostle? No, she can't say that because they will kill her. See?
On the spot.
But see, he's so quick to try to defend the indefensible. You can't defend this. It's right there. All right, let's go on.
But real quick, please let me interject, King, real quick. Plus, while she's there, if some other guy on your gang takes her and grapes her, she gets beaten. He doesn't. That's in the scripture.
Think about that. See, Apostle don't want this smoke with me, man. Because what they do, Brother Rod, is they add to the scriptures. They add to it. And I like when you said, that's not in the scriptures. You can't see that in the scriptures. He talking about that was a spiritual death. No, the hell it wasn't. It says that day you will die. On that day you will die. And
if they surely die, that means ain't no doubt about it. You dead that day.
Right. It don't say nothing about no spiritual death. They added that. But anyway, let's move on. Genesis, do you have a question?
Yes, I do.
Let's go.
Okay, so this is going to be a little bit more about like closer to
Anunnaki. Go ahead.
Right. So in the movie Nope, I'm not sure if you see the movie Nope by Jordan Peele.
I don't think so.
I didn't see it.
So there's these things that were UFOs that everyone thought to be spaceships. However, in the movie, as they like found out that the UFOs are Nope, not of planet Earth, right? Were actually a predator-like creature organism and not a spaceship. Recently, they admitted to UFOs existing in Congress, and they mentioned that they are not sure if the UFOs that are coming up out of that they're coming in contact with are machines or organisms coming up out the sea, flying around, going to nuclear power plants, cutting off and on nuclear reactors. What is your take on unidentified flying objects as organisms? Could this civilization, could it be underwater? Could it be a creature from underwater? Are there any stories of this? Could Anunnaki be underwater instead of in outer space? In Yoruba tradition, we have a concept called Olokun, which is the deep, dark parts of the ocean. That's still a mystery. What are your thoughts? Is there a connection? Is there any ancient texts that talk about any kind of like UFO like objects that come up out the ocean and are like creatures, or maybe they are machines? Or what's your take on that?
Well, you go to the Dogon, the Dagon that came from the waters, and they was dressed like fish, right? So we do have stories of people coming out of the water to teach humans on land, but it don't say if they got a ship under the water. It just said that the Dogon came out of the water. That's the fish head god that the Pope wear a hat in commemoration to, right? And this not a unknown phenomenon to experience what people refer to as mermaids or people that swim in the ocean. You still have tribes in South Africa that free dive. Then you got them in Asia that free dive without scuba gear, been doing it for thousands of years. And they say they got it from their ancestors who originally came from the water onto the land. So that concept is in a lot of legends around the world. And as far as them being the ships themselves being an organism, I can't say one way or the other. I have no information to say that the ship itself is an organism, but we do know that some of the ships that's crashed, they've recovered organisms from, because they disclosed it in the Senate hearings that they had what's called biologics, which is the body of what they classify as an alien.
So would you think that, like, okay, for instance, that the mermaids are just fish, kind of like humanoid fish swimming around? Or do you think they might be underneath the water with advanced technology? If there were Anunnaki and like maybe the earth probably went through a change, that maybe the Anunnaki, some of them probably like went underneath the water and created like a civilization there. And now they're like ships are coming up out the ground and flying over stuff instead of coming from outer space, but maybe they're here already in the ocean and just coming up out the water.
Several ufologists have put forth that the beings that we seeing is coming from inner Earth and they coming from beneath the oceans, and they present different lines of belief to why they came to that conclusion, right? So it's really a hazy topic because a lot of the UFO experience information has been kept concealed from us. We couldn't cross-reference or research until now. We starting to get access to this information, and then we'll be able to review it and go over it later. But all of the information is still not available to us because they still disclosing in real time.
And you know, recently they're saying that we live in like a dome-like thing. It's that we can't get out of this dome, right? And then when you see rockets go up, it looks like it hits the dome and comes right back down. So would the actual Anunnaki story be kind of a thing where we're thinking that it's coming from outer space, but it's really coming from deep within the Earth, within under the ground from the Earth, from like a flat plane?
Well, according to some of the ancient legends, the reason they can't leave the Earth is because we in what's called a light cold lockdown. The light cold lockdown is the description of what we call the Van Allen belt. The Van Allen belt is the radiation barrier into outer space, and they have what's called windows to shift them from one level of atmosphere to the other. And so the dome is actually the furthest reaches of a torsion field, and it's some kind of science involved with keeping us within the confines of that radiation belt.
All right, let's move on. Hold on, Genesis. Let's get to Meta Williams in the building. What up, Meta?
You got to unmute yourself, brother.
Yes, sir. Peace to you, brother. Good to see you, man.
Meter. My bad. Hey,
Meter.
man. Peace to the panel. What's up, Chief Pontiac?
Peace, guys.
Hayes, man. I had dreads, bro. We chopped it up a few times. But I got a couple of things to add, and it's just to add on to some of the things that you were saying. And it is dealing with the Igigi. So the Igigi was stationed, what's that? The Emerald Tablets of Thoth, and it's a couple areas where they explained about the Igigi. The Igigi was in
I think it's Atrahasis.
Yeah, the Igigi was stationed in Mars, and it was a working class, and they had got fed up because they didn't have no women or nothing, and all they was doing was just working. But from my understanding, it was more of them than it was. Well, it was all Anunnaki. It was just different races. And I knew came because of Enlil and Enki on and off disputes. So when the Igigi got aggressive, then I knew stepped in and gave them a little bit more. But then that's when, this is where I want you to go in at. Eden. Because some say it was like a laboratory, gated. And once when the Igigi came down, and then Anu was like, yo, this is what we're gonna do. That's when they got the splice and things like that with Eden. And then you got Anana she carried the first Homo sapien sapien for her to be a working class, like slave.
Mm-hmm.
Can you elaborate on that?
We already touched on all of that you just
Well,
said.
I set the phone down for a minute, man. I apologize.
Yeah, we went over all that information already.
Yeah, but then, well, we can go in on. Can you explain? Well, you did a show with what's the name with shadow work. I just want to go deep and just give the people, you know what I'm saying, a little wide range of how you becoming, man, and it be so deep and dope. You feel me?
Mm-hmm. Well, we
Hey,
just right
side, come
now.
back to.
Yeah, right now we just on here with Sai. He wanted to talk about the Anunnaki, so we
Yeah,
going
yeah,
we
yeah,
you know
yeah.
so
I
yeah.
yeah. So, side, come
All
back
right.
to me, man. I
All
got,
right.
I can
Let me get
come back
to
to me.
let me get to my man Cosmic Chris. I know Cosmic getting ready to go into space. He getting ready to get into the aliens. And I think Cosmic think he's probably one of the new you know,
The phenom. The phenom.
Anunnakis. Let's go, Cosmic.
Yeah, shout out to you, peace to the panel. No,
Peace, brothers.
I just want I'm coming to you more of a student right now. I know last time we talked, we had a little, you know what I'm saying, we was going back and forth on a good topics. I just want to come as a student a little bit.
I like your tree in the background. Nice tree, brother.
You know, I don't celebrate all that, but you know, my girls
should
do,
have got
so
the
it is what
colorful
it
lights,
is.
man. The color light.
And it's a black tree. It's blacked out, just so you know. That's why I look like that. You feel me?
Shoulda
We
got the
gonna
black
keep it
lights
black
there.
all the way.
Should have got the black lights.
Yeah. Oh, we working on it. Ain't done yet. I'm waiting for my son to come over. You know what I'm saying? And
There you go, brother.
And we gonna get right. So.
Yeah.
Now, I want to ask you, what can you teach us about Anunnaki putting caps on our lifespans?
On Earth, we have all the color spectrum of humans in our genome on Earth. So we would suspect that if we have any genetic ties to the ones they call the black gods, that they would have the same genetic trait for skin pigmentation depending on where they was at. And they probably had more conscious control on who to give massive amounts of melanin to and who to reduce it on in order for the environment they was adapting to.
All right.
Cool. Appreciate that, bro. Appreciate it, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, let me go on to my my big brother Apostle. You got any more questions, Apostle? Are you good?
Yeah.
Go ahead, brother.
I wanted to ask him, is it about melanin, aliens and gods and stuff? What do you know about well, what's this? These blonde.
You talking about the Nordic races of extraterrestrials?
Right, the Nordics.
Yeah, some of them are Arcturian, some of them are Pleiadian.
Right.
And they got a couple of more lesser star systems that they inhabited.
You heard about the tall whites and
yeah.
And
then you have like the Procyon have the fullest color spectrum in they community, from pale face to almost imperceivable in the darkness of the sky black.
Right. You know, this thing they call sleep. Where you can't move in your sleep, you're conscious.
Sleep paralysis.
Sleep paralysis. I used to get it when I was young. My sons get it now. Eventually, I grew out of it. I don't know, somewhere in my 50s, 40s and 50s, I stopped having it. But when I was 17, I initially wanted to experience I usually wake myself up. But I wanted to experience the full effect of it. And I tell you, man, I thought I saw what could be determined as a shiny one. I saw a form of a being that literally glittered, and it came to me. Scared the hell out of me, and I forced myself to wake up. I never did that again. But that is an experience that I experienced once. And it puts me in mind of where they talk about the gleaming ones or the shiny ones. Are you familiar with them?
Yeah. And when you see them in the dream state, you normally looking at them in what's called the whole light form, meaning the light body, not their physical body. Most of us call the light body spirit or soul, right? But we keep believing that our body is who we is, and that we not using our body to express who we is. So we have access to information that's non-local. We can see things with the mind that the body, when you around it, you can't see it. Right? In the 3D form, you can't see but 1% of the light spectrum. That means 99% of the light spectrum. There's something going on over there, but you can't see it.
Right.
Right. And when you in the sleep state, you in fourth dimensional mind matrix. You can see more because you're using more of the mind in that state than you could if you was awake in your 3D body.
Exactly.
Right. So the psychic abilities is the higher senses of the spiritual self to perceive additional information that's not available by looking with the eyes, listening with the ears, smelling with the nose, or tasting with the tongue. But your higher senses can use your lower senses to translate the information for you if you understand how you talk to your higher self.
True that.
All right. Okay. Moving right along. Can you elaborate on the concept of Earth as a free will universe versus the Anunnaki restricted will universe?
In a restricted will universe, it's going to make it easier to understand the free will universe. In the restricted will universe, everybody had to follow what the rulers say, no matter what it is. Period. In the free will universe, you have the right to disassociate from anything that doesn't agree with who you are as a person. Right? So a person might come up and he might be wearing a jalabia and a turban and he want to tell you about Islam. I don't want to hear about Islam. Right? Or it might be a dude knocking on your door from Jesus Christ and the Latter-day Saints coming to propagate the church. I don't want to hear about what you got to say. Right? That's not my paradigm. I don't accept that paradigm. You can do that in the free will universe. In a restricted will universe, the ones with the authority is clearly identified and you got to do what they say. So here.
Oh, go ahead, brother.
So here under free will, you have the right to plot your life out if you understand how to do it and follow the steps to make your best life. Right. But in a restricted will universe, it's like being in a permanent caste system. You only do what the leader tell you and you don't do nothing else.
But that can vary, right? Not just universally, but from country to country.
It can also, like in India, they have a caste system that's firmly fixed.
Right.
All right. Hold on, Apostle. I wanted to finish asking this question too.
Yeah, I know. I just wanted clarity on that.
When we talk about the Anunnakis, every time I look up the Anunnaki, it's always looking like a European man. The Anunnaki look European. Where's the Anunnaki women? How come we never talk about the women? Because if it was Anunnaki men who were giants, what about the women? Were they giants as well?
They talk about a lot of women in the tablets. They talk about a rich gal. They talk about Inanna. They talk about Ninti, Mamie. So they talk about them, but we so patriarchally oriented that we don't hear the female name when we talk about other stuff that's promoting the female gender. If it's propping up the feminine, the patriarchal, because part of the war is patriarchal over matriarchy. To subjugate the natural matriarchy out of Earth. The only way they can turn Earth into a restricted will universe is to win it by military conquest, or by all of the people on the planet, or the majority agreeing to go along with their restricted will dogma. Most of us don't want that stuff. Even the ones of us that don't agree with Rod Hayes, because you got a right not to agree. And anybody tell you got to agree with everything they say is trying to control you to your detriment, but they benefit. So,
go ahead.
Yeah.
The chief scientist was a female, wasn't she?
One of them.
Yeah. Insecure, or I know it's Enil's sister.
That was a Richka gal.
Yeah.
She was the one. She was the one who first successfully carried the hybrid between Anunnaki and the Homo species that created us. She had physically carried that fetus, according to the story.
Yeah, he right.
Yeah,
that's what it say in the story. But they said that was Inanna that carried the baby, and she said, "Look, I have gave birth to the first man."
Right. Right.
If you're talking that side, you're on mute unless you're on the phone.
Yeah, I got you. How does the story of Abraham in the Bible relate to the Anunnaki? See, I want to keep it on the Anunnaki because that's what this is about. That's right. What the title is. So I want to get everything out of you that I could find out and learn about the Anunnaki. Now,
Abraham's point of origin becomes significant to the Anunnaki story because Abraham originated from Ur the Chaldees, right? And Ur the Chaldees is also an ancient city from the area of Babylon, Sumer, and Acadia. It's from that same geography. But Abraham, the name Abraham, Ab means heart in Kemet. Ra means the supreme deity. And Kim is Kim, which means the melanin or the black dot. So that they use an acronym to conceal something. Right. So his name went from Ab Ram, right, the heart of Ram, to the heart of Ra, the black god Kim. So
yes,
that was the Chaldean connection is where you would see the closest connection to Abraham and Sumer.
Can you explain more about the Earthborn humans and their relationship to the stars?
We walk in stardust, right? Our spirit body is governed by one of them stars in the sky. Normally, in that little area where your zodiac sign is where your star is in the sky. The light from that star is expressed through your genome in communication with the earth and the sun. Right? So when your stardust form, your spirit body, you need a physical vessel to inhabit. Right? So your light body begin to look for a station to tune into, which we call it a genome code, a series of markers on the DNA that allows this particular light body to access this physical form.
All right, let me go to Neil Spite real quick. Neil Spite, man, do you have a question, brother?
Actually, I wanted to say peace to you, brother, Chief Pontiac. How you doing today?
Peace, brother. How you doing? I'm doing pretty fair for a square.
Right. So I had a 2-question and 1 statement.
Go ahead.
Okay.
Okay. The first statement is, I'm from Detroit. and Chief Pontiac was a chief in Detroit, and it was a story about that's where you get the Pontiac car and all that. But it was a story about him that I believe he was fighting with the French because Detroit originally was French, Detroit, and I think they was fighting against the English, and they were sitting at a powwow, whatever, eating, and whoever was the French or the English, they were like, "Oh, this is so good. What is this?" And Chief Pontiac says, "It's your British or your English brother." So he a cold piece, though. Man, hey, but that was
Big
my
Mama say
statement on,
turnabout fair play.
huh?
Big Mama say turnabout is fair play.
Yeah, you know what I mean? I ain't mad at him. Yeah, hey, but listen, let me say on my my question to you was, have you, and if you have, can you give us some information on which doctors call the junk DNA within a human's body? That DNA there, which would be like an extraterrestrial, they don't understand, like you say, the stardust, you just piggybacking off that. Would you say that the junk DNA they don't understand is the actual conscious level of something that you can tap into through like Ra'u Nefer Ahmed's meditations or Muada Ashby?
Your junk DNA is the DNA that was not firing codons. This was chemically blocked. It's not junk.
Exactly.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you, what the hell is junk DNA?
They call it that, but it's not. Yeah, go ahead.
It's DNA that's not activated. It's not active.
Right. And once you can activate that DNA though, but they don't want you to know how to activate it. You have something called Kriya Yoga that are activated, Egyptian Yoga, Muada Ashby, he know how to activate it. We got different secret societies that teach certain individuals that they know how to, they can control them. They teach them how to activate it so that they can exploit their gifts. Right? You got to remember, most of the secret societies is nothing more than handlers of people who don't know who they are, to try to prevent them from discovering who they are, but express all of their greatness from within so that somebody else outside of them can control it, which is a concept adopted from restricted will universe.
And my last question to you was, do you think there's some deep wisdom in the Meretic undeciphered script, the Meretic from Merowe?
It's wisdom in anything you read. But a lot of times the wisdom is not in the written, it's in the error. The wisdom come in the error as a Freudian slip of a piece of truth that they wasn't supposed to say.
Hopefully one day we can decipher that script. I yield the mic.
All right.
Right. Let me go on over here, brother Dizel. You got any more questions?
Yeah. I want to fire it up just a little bit because that my first question that I asked him, he was kind of politically correct on it. So let me frame it differently. You know. So when it comes to people who follow certain faiths and certain gods, is it that, you know, putting it together with the information that you're bringing concerning the Anunnaki, is it not probable that a Muslim or a Christian or Hebrew Israelite, they're not worshiping the actual Most High, the Supreme Being, that they're more likely worshiping one of these Anunnaki beings? Because according to the stories, the Anunnaki chopped up the earth, and different ones, you know, own different sectors. Would that not line up better with why, you know, certain people thought that their God told them to go and conquer these people, take that land? Does that not sound like something that a being would want you to do? Not God, but a being that's more advanced than us, probably older than us, but still has personality traits similar to us. Does that not line up better with what we have a lot of conversations on, and when we find contradictions in the Bible, etc.? Can it be that all of this come from Anunnaki beings?
It's totally possible, because the reason why I say that is it is known from studying the genome that we have something called a worship gene. And the worship gene is the gene that make you look outside yourself for your source of validation of divinity. The real God, you can only get to the real God by going within yourself, because you are directly hardwired through your brainstem, through what's called reticular formation, black dot, as Dr. Richard Kling described it, in the base of the skull, that is tied directly to source, right? The intermediary between you and source is your higher frequency self. Your lower frequency self is the one that roam the earth and think it know everything, while your higher frequency self is trying to reveal the truth to your lower self. But you too busy looking for all the validation from what we call lesser gods or man-made gods, or gods that's men who made themselves into deified images. Right. So you're not far off, brother.
So, all right, that's what I was wanting to hear. So, my brothers and sisters, when we have these conversations, and when Saw gets you in a corner and you can't answer certain things about why God wanted you to go break these people or kill these people, and you have to fall back on, well, God can do what He wants. Would it not be more logical to just realize that, dang, I was worshiping a lesser God, a simple being that's more advanced than I am, but it's not the overall Most High? Thank you, Brother Rod Hayes.
Creator of all is what we call it.
If it's true,
right?
My God would not want me to rape nobody.
All right, Apostle. All right, Apostle.
Come on, man, with that nonsense.
Does Brother Rod, does Nibiru exist? And what scholars besides Zechariah Extension believe in the planet Nibiru?
Nibiru is talked about in science as the 10th planet. It's called the Rilo 7. It got other names that the scientists gave it that's not Nibiru.
The blue planet. Right.
Yep. So when we talk about it now as Nibiru, yep, that's what Nibiru means, planet of the crossing. But when we call it the Nibiru, modern scientists have other names for it. So we believe that Zechariah Extension, Eric Von Däniken, Malachi York was heretics when they talked about it, but it's still in their science books. But they just don't call it by the name Nibiru.
They call it Planet X. They still looking for it, trying to figure out where is that.
I remember Steve Coakley was the first one I heard talk about Nibiru. How about you, Rod?
The first thing, I had a book called Gods, Clouds, and Extraterrestrials. The first place I read about them.
Oh, okay.
It's in the Bible. It's called Wormwood.
And being that you jumped out the window, Apostle, you got to stop this, man, when I'm up here, man, talking about God don't want you to grape nobody.
He don't.
Yes, he do. It's in your Bible, brother. In war, when you're in war, right?
No,
that's what I used to say. Hold up, stop for 1 minute. Stop for 1 minute. You say it's all right when you are in war. Remember, we've been saying this for damn near a whole year, and y'all excuse was, oh, well, we are in war. So if you capture your enemy and then you see a beautiful woman amongst them, you could take them home and lock them down for 30 days. Be quiet, let me finish. You can lock them down for 30 days and you can go into them after 30 days. Brother, that is first kidnapping. When you take them from where they was at to your place, that is kidnapping in today's world. And then when you go inside of them after you have killed her mother and her father, she have not welcomed you into her, brother. She's only afraid because she know she will be killed if she don't allow you. So yes, God, according to the Bible, does let the Israelites grape them. Well, let me finish. Does the Israelites, they do let the Israelites grape them. And I know it hurts. I know you're upset about it. So you can go ahead and lie on the scriptures all you want. I can pull it up and show it to you.
Yeah, but nowhere in that scripture does it says that the person that saw the damsel and found her to be attractive is the same one that killed her parents. It don't say that's the person. It says her parents died in battle.
Incorrect.
She has nobody. It doesn't. It's not no incorrect.
Incorrect. I dare you to pull it. I
No,
dare you to
you
pull
pull it up.
Yeah.
You pull it up.
I dare you to pull it up.
It does not say
Incorrect.
that
It
the
does say
person, it does not say that the person that finds the beautiful woman is the one that killed her mother and killed her father. It does not say that he forced himself on her.
Okay,
it
let me
does not say. It says, and you desire her as a wife. You do not rape a wife.
Okay, all right. Apostle,
Stop this nonsense.
Apostle, listen to me, being that you jumping out the window. Can that woman who have been taken from her household, can she refuse him going into her? Yes or no?
Yes.
Can she say no? See,
Yes.
damn, you can't even keep it real, man.
He can say
You move
no.
on, brother.
I'm
You
not
can't even
saying
keep it real,
that
brother.
he's going to listen to her.
You can't even keep it
Depends
real,
on-
man.
But she can say no.
No, she can't.
She can.
All right, all right. Let me move on. Is she, hold on, watch this. Is she a prisoner of war, Apostle?
She's a prisoner of war.
Can a slave
He
say no?
doesn't.
Hold on,
he
stop
doesn't
answering me.
have to
Answer me. Can a slave say no to her, to the man who's trying to come on to her and rape her?
She can say no. It don't mean he's going to listen. She
All
can
right,
say
so
no.
that mean is what? It's called what? If he take it, what is it called?
If you take it, that don't say you are.
You can't even say it, brother.
She's
Look at
accepting it.
I'm gonna move on.
She
Let me go.
is accepting it.
Okay. No, she's not. Let me move on.
Now, according to
I bet you won't pull it up though. I guarantee you won't pull that up. It's in the book of Deuteronomy. 10.
I can't pull it up.
Yeah, I know. Let me go on over to Nepal Shaddai. Nepal, I know she got questions for you, brother, bro. Nepal, you got the floor.
Right. Thank you, Senator. Peace to everybody in the panel. Peace to the chat, and of course to the guest, Rod Hayes. I wanted to ask if you would speak a bit about the Igigi in the ancient text, the actual people called the Igigi, and I also wanted to see if you agree or what your take is on the Bible saying that Abraham is from Ur, where we know the this text about the Anunnaki, the Sumerian text, actually originated. So those two questions. First, if you could let us speak on the Igigi, and if you think they're still around, even, and then, like I said, what do you think about the story of Abraham coming from Ur, coinciding with the origin of the text?
I don't know how long you've been here, but I just answered that question for Sai when he asked me about Abraham in the Bible, when I was telling him that Abraham came from Ur of the Chaldees, where those texts was written. So I answered that one already.
Okay, great. So the Igigi, what do you really? I specifically want to hear you. I know it's really a broad question, but let me narrow it down. I want to hear your take on the distinction between the Anunnaki, the Igigi, and then of course what they would say is like the slave human race. Are they still around? Have you already touched on that? I just got in. And if so, where would we identify, especially the Igigi I'm interested in? We talk about the Anunnaki and the humans so much, but I don't hear a lot of people go into the discussion about the Igigi.
So the story of the Igigi and they coming to Earth is they coming to the wedding of Murdoch. And when they got here and it seemed that the Anunnaki was taking human wives, they made a pact to basically bomb the wedding and take the women that they wanted. This is when in the Bible, when it's saying the sons of God saw the daughters of men that they was fair, and then they took all that they chose. That's the story of Semyaza and the pact that he's making with the other Igigi that came down with him. They were supposed to be, according to the legend, a group of Anunnaki that was resigned to labor on Mars, while there was another contingent that was laboring on Earth. Then the ones that was laboring on Mars was invited to Earth, for the purpose of the wedding of Marduk, and then it was there that they went rogue and began to proliferate. And they saying giants was born in those days, men of renown, men of valor. That's what they talking about. They also call the Igigi the Watchers, because when they on Earth, they don't normally do anything other than observe. They don't get involved in what we call human affairs, other than having an affair with a human through a rape campaign.
You know, that's wait, I don't mean to interrupt you, but you're saying that they are, so you're saying they're malevolent, they're not good, they're bad, or?
I think they like people. You got good and bad in them, but it's just that the thing that they did to stick out made them look horrible. But they wasn't doing nothing no different than the rest of the Anunnaki who seen a woman. Like they say, Igigi had children by children of children of his own, right? So